Hello friends, it's Luke the Gamer Duke. Over the past couple weeks I held a string of make-believe polls envisioning a scenario where Blizzard were to remove Runewords from Diablo 2, and it was up to you which ones were sequentially deleted over the course of 3 rounds, gathering a grand total of over 300 votes. The final results have been posted, but I wanted to make a short video going over those results, and why players may have chosen the way they did, which Runewords fell off along the way, and which one did the masses choose to be the most important early runeword? Let's go find out. To start with, let's quickly run over the runewords in question, in alphabetical order. First is Insight, built into 4-socket polearms, missiles, or staves if you really want to, at level 27. It's primarily used as a support weapon for the Act 2 or Act 1 mercenary, providing great damage, attack rating, crit strike, some magic find, and namely the Meditation Aura, granting great mana regen for the party. Next is Lore, built into 2-socket helms, again at level 27, providing the +1 to all skills, added energy, mana per kill, and some lightning res. It's a great way to get some early skill stacking, even better when finding a barb or druid helm with built-in skills. Third is Spirit Sword. The Spirit Shield remained in existence, built into 4-socket swords at level 25, which is a caster's go-to with +2 to all skills, caster rate, hit recovery, added vitality, and insane mana. And lastly is Stealth, built into 2-socket armor at level 17, the go-to armor for basically every early character with faster run, hit recovery, caster rate, some mana regen, and poison res. The initial poll started pitting all 4 against each other with the scenario of Blizzard is permanently deleting one early GG runeword from Diablo 2 forever, and it was up to you which one were to be deleted. The masses voted, and with a fairly tight battle between Lore and Spirit Sword, it was ultimately Spirit Sword the majority chose to be rid of. This was a bit of a surprise, as my train of thought was that of Scott's here. I figured more players would want Spirit over Lore simply due to how good it is. But turns out Anator was right on the money. Spirit is so good, but also so oppressive. It basically nukes out everything else as it provides insane numbers for some of the most important caster affixes across the board. It essentially replaces every other caster weapon, rare, unique, or set by level 25. It is the absolute casting meta. And we don't like the meta around here, so it's out of here.
Moo!
With Spirit Sword now gone, I figured the next round of Insight versus Lore versus Stealth would go exactly how you might have thought. And yes indeed, it went exactly how you might have thought. This round was interesting as within the first 36 hours or so, Insight was actually polling more votes. But as the week went on, it was Lore that the masses chosen to be rid of over Insight and Stealth. And it's not hard to see why. When push comes to shove, there are other alternatives to Lore, and its primary affix of +1 to all skills isn't exactly the most important for all characters, and it's also lacking other noteworthy affixes in comparison to the other two. The comments basically agreed. However, Loba does have a good point that most runewords do basically break the game in terms of item quality for your character, even though I use Insight on most every merc.
I'll put that to good.
With August having dire consequences for anyone removing Insight or Stealth in this situation. That's rough. But in the end, it was Lore that was chosen by the masses to remove entirely. It's gone.
Moo!
Alright, down to 2. The battle I was waiting for. Insight versus Stealth. And from my end, the results weren't entirely surprising, but the ratio of votes were. When it came down to the wire and the votes were tallied, it was indeed Stealth the majority chose to remove over Insight. And by a fairly large margin too. Which again was a bit surprising, being how often Stealth is used and highlighted. But when it comes to realistic functionality, infinite mana regen, and from a merc, far outpaces the long-term usefulness of caster rate, faster run, or hit recovery, which can be easily acquired from other items. So it's out of here.
Moo!
With Ray hitting my thoughts right on the nose. Andrew is also correct though. Insight is a straight up GG OP item that you don't even have to wear. Technically able to equip it even before Nightmare, by taking a polearm or bow from normal cows to Larzook. and does kind of break the game by basically replacing mana potions. But hey, let's be honest, we all use it.
I'll put that to good use.
And if it was up to me, Insight would be the runeword I would choose to save over Lore, Stealth, or Spirit Sword. For this last poll, I was actually kinda hoping for an Insight vs Spirit Sword for the final showdown. I feel like that might have been a bit of a closer matchup, and tougher to find justification for one over the other. But then again, maybe not. Before I sign off, I want to say a huge thank you to all of you who participated. This was actually really fun, and I definitely want to do more elimination style polls in the future in addition to the other random ones I've been posting recently. I do have a couple others in mind, so be on the lookout for those. And feel free to share any suggestions of any elimination style polls in the comments. And let me know if you'd participate in a spin-off poll of Insight vs Spirit Sword sometime this coming week. If you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that like button. And remember to subscribe so you can have your voice heard in the next elimination poll. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Adios!